Good morning, everyone. This is Ajit, and here I'm going to present one of the topic, which is setting up high availability active passive NFS server on two node uh, two node cluster. Yeah. So the NFS server basically run on one of two node in the cluster. So if the one node is not responding or become I mean it's not functioning if in case, then the another one will come in place and will hold the handle the request, right? So yeah, it is active passive cluster, right? So here, as per my setup, let me close this up. Yes, I have these couple of machines, right? So the first machine is the admin one, which is one of the additional machine. It is not a part of direct requirement of HA, but I have my GNOME install, so I can use the browser in order to access the cluster through the graphical way. So that is only the purpose of this machine. Yes, node 1 and node 2, it's a two node cluster. So node 1 and node 2 will be participating into the cluster. So yeah, it can be virtual, it can be physical. So here I have a virtual because it is running inside the KVM. Service machine is an infra machine, which is basically running DSCP, DNS and TP kind of thing. And storage, yes, this is one of the node which basically expose the storage in form of LUN. So I have iSCSI configure here. So throughout the demonstration, basically here I already have set up HA. So because this session is not for HA, right? My purpose is to help some of you maybe that how to set up NFS active passive, service on top of your HA. So HA is already running. I can show you. Uh, yes, my IP address of the first machine is first node is 121 and CRM status. So I can see I have these two resources, and currently there is one node only which is in part of cluster. So let's add the another one, right? Let's add the second node into it. And why not I take the SSH connection, because it will be easy for me in order to take yeah. So IP address is 122, enter, yes, and this is the one. So we are supposed to run join, enter, and the IP address of your first basically if you come down here you can see the IP address 172.168.121, right? So enter, and password, in my case it is Linux. So if I go on the server side CRM underscore monitor, so I can see currently there is one node, two resources, and something is going on in this site. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to detail this thing because it is a part of HA. Yeah, I am still waiting for cluster. Yeah, now I can see the node 2 is in pending state, and yes, now it is a part of this cluster. So yes, it is joined successfully. So yes, it is a two node cluster, right? So my purpose is to help you how to set up NFS on top of that. So what I have decided, I have this URL documentation suza.com/has service pack SP1 SLE15 SP1, right? And I'm going to use this online page. Why I have chosen this online? Because I heard from some of you that it is quite difficult to follow this online page. So I'm going to maybe helping you in other way that how you can follow this documentation so that you can it will solve your purpose, right? So first and topmost, you can see as per the documentation, it will help us to set up highly available NFS in two node cluster. Yes, I have two node using this component. So DRBD is basically a distributed replicated block device, which is like red level 1 over the network. So if you have a disk, additional disk in a node 1 and one more additional disk in the node 2, and if you want to mirror them, you are supposed to use DRBD. So DRBD basically do the replication over the IP, right? So yeah. So I will use not the SAN storage in my practical, but I have attached my local disk, and the local disk will be working as a storage for me for NFS. Yeah, LVM is there for manageability of your disk. So LVM is additional component which will help us to make your to use your disk in a more flexible way, and PageMaker as a resource manager. So as per this documentation, they have a two node. The IP address is this. In my case, it is 172.11.121.122. So yeah, my IP address is different. And then they are saying that you need a two virtual IP address. One is this. In that case, in this graphic, yes, this is one of the IP address, and the second one is this one. And what is the purpose of this IP? The first IP is basically used to access the browser, right? So you can see the one IP address is used to access the graphic, while other IP address is used for the NFS server. So yes, in my case, if you see CRM status, not CRM status, yes, right here. So this is one of my virtual IP address I have created in a cluster. So yes, I can use this IP to access browser, right? If I go down here, if I write https:// and then 7630, again, this session will not help you to set up a cluster, basically the basic cluster. All right, cluster is already running. In my case, I'm going to set up NFS active passive on top of or through HE, right? So you cannot expect me to, discuss those basic things. But if you need, if you wanted to know how to set up a cluster, just write in the chat. I mean, in the comment section. So yes, I will make one more video for HE only. So yes, this is just to access the browser, and yeah, and the second IP address is for NFS server, which I will create later. And that they says that we need a one storage disk basically for SBD fencing. So yes, I already set up this SBD fencing. If you see, this is the one. So if I run fdisk space -L. So you can see this is the OS disk. I have running my OS in VDA, and SDA is basically my SBD disk, right, which is a part of cluster used for fencing. And this is the additional disk which I will use for DRBD replication. And I have a same configuration in the second machine. So if I run yes, we have one OS disk, we have one disk for SBD, and the next additional disk which is quite free, completely free, 20 GB. And so I will use a replication between SBD this one first node and SBD this one second node. So we have a two disk attached, each of this in each of node, right? For failover, if the one node is down, the second one, yeah, that is what the meaning of active passive. Local storage on each node, yes, I have added this local storage. So that is completely up to you. You can sometime deliver this block device through the iSCSI. Means like you can deliver or share two LAN. One is mounted under in first machine, and second is mounted under in second machine. And yes, you can use those LAN as a part of DRBD. So that is completely up to you. But in my case, I have used this local disk, right, in both of these machines, right. File system exported through NFS. So this is a part of, this is basically a kind of a scenario, right? So I will install NFS later, but that is how we can read this documentation and create some kind of relation in our current setup. Then this is installing basic 2 clusters. So I think it is described somewhere here. So maybe you can go to the Google and find out how to set up a basic cluster in SUSE, which I'm not going to discuss here. Next is creating a LVM. So on the first machine, basically in my first, this one, I have my additional disk, which is VDB, right? Enter, and run the same command here on the second machine. And I'm following this documentation in the way which is designed, right? So I think it will help you to understand that how to follow online documentation, right? So just copying it in the second VDB, and the same is for this here. So why I'm using LVM, just to make you can enable, you can increase, decrease the size of, that is why. So the size which I'm going to take is 19 GB, right? And the same here, because we have additional separate disk available in both the nodes, so you are supposed to do these job manually, and then you have to activate the volume group, right? So copy is there, great. Copy, enter, copy, enter. Yeah. Next is DRBD setup. So DRBD, it is distributed replicated block device, so which is used to mirror the block device between the server, right? So to configure this, you are supposed to go to the first machine and run YAS2 space DRBD, enter. Yes. I don't need to start this service because the service is going to be managed by cluster only, right? So and we know that when we are going to set up any service on top of cluster, we are not supposed to start through systemctl blah blah blah. So that's why I'm going to make this status remain same. Come to the resource section, click on add. This is a resource name. So see, the resource name is NFS. I mean, it is up to us, of course, but let's choose this one. And then they says the name of node, which is node 1, and the IP address, so 172.17.11.121, and the port number is 7788. So see, this is one of my physical IP address I set up in my first node. If you want, you can create a 2 virtual IP, VIP, one for node 1 and one for node 2. And you can use that one as well. So that is completely up to you, whether you want to use a cluster IP address or the static IP address. In my case, I'm using this one. The name of device which will be used by application. So this device is not currently present, but it will be created once you start your DRBD service. So the device name is there, and then your name of disk. So disk name means the LVM one basically you created, right? And then you have internal. Internal means your data and metadata both will store in the same disk. That is what the means of internal. Let's save it. Come to the add option and write the name node 2. Okay, and do the same kind of thing, 172.17.11.121:7788, and the device name is Dave DRBD0, right? And here we have a disk name. This is the name of disk. Internal, save, okay, finish. So it says that for both endpoints. So okay, so I think what I did, I set up the wrong IP address. So one more thing, if you do some kind of mistake, so go to the first inside etc DRBD, sometime, most of the time basically DRBD, it create a file, you see, NFS. So it is sometimes good to delete it. There is no reason why to delete, I think, but I want to create a new file by the same way, right? So yes, let's go for resource and click NFS. The problem was actually I used the same IP address, I believe. So node 1 and 172.17.11.121:7788, and the device name is Dave DRBD0, and the disk is this is the disk. Yes, click add, go for node 2. Yes, 172.17.11.122, right? This is a port number. So this is IP address of my second node 2, and you can see 11122, right? Port number is there, the name of disk, which is DRBD0, and yeah, this is my LVM 172. Not 172, Dave NFS work. Yeah, let me check it. Dave NFS work. Yeah, and then internal, great, save, okay, finish. So once you do this job, the file is get created. You can see NFS dot this one. If you read the file, it look like the same which is there in the page, right? So you see in the first stop you have NFS, you have on error, input output error, pass on, protocol C, the number of host and their information, host specific information. So you can find the detail of what is the meaning of this one. One is basically a device which that application are supposed to access it. And the second one is the LVM partition, right? The third is internal, which means the metadata is stored together with the user data, right? The fourth one is protocol C. There are 4 different protocols, A, B, C, D. The C means a write operation is considered done when it has reached to all disks. So I have a 2 disk, right? It can be local or remote. The next is number of machines. So yeah, this is the machines and their information. So it says that you are supposed to copy this file, this one basically, right, to the other machine, right, this one, and there is no file. You can see drbd, drbd, yeah. So what you're supposed to do, you are supposed to run this command, this one, right? So copy, paste in the node 1, and you can see the file is now present, right? So that thing is done. Now activate the drbd. So we are supposed to run these 2 commands in both the node, and it is well written somewhere. Uh, First time on do this in both the node. Yeah, this is C on these 2 nodes. So in my case, yes, copying here and wait for a second, right? There would be some status, yeah, writing data, metadata, and meta block is done. And the next is this one, and do the same job in other 2 other machine. So copying, and yeah, enter. Next is because see, these are 2 disks which is going to synchronize in between, but there is no data as of now, and synchronization takes time a bit, depend on the size of I mean the disk size along with the data basically. So to check that drbd adm status nfs, I can see the status actually in drbd. Basically there are 2 different modes, master and master slave. So slave means secondary. So at present both the machine as working as a slave, you can see, yeah, you see, right? And there is no there is an inconsistent, right? So it is going to connect to the other node for synchronization and all. So what you can do, if the drbd disk in all the node have a same data, then you can skip the synchronization. So currently there is no data, so I believe this is good to run on one of the node. And so when I check this up, you can find the secondary will become a primary, you see, right? In my case, I run this on node 1, so this node will consider as a secondary, right? If I go here and see, this is secondary. So yes, currently the disk is updated, right? Up to date. And yeah, so to change this flag into primary, this is the command basically, this one, right? So we are supposed to run in one of the node. I want this enter. So what is the means of primary? Primary means that you have a read write access of this disk, while the other node have a read only, because it is a secondary. So the one which is secondary, flag as secondary, have a read only access, while the one which has a primary has a read write permission. So yes, I change this up and I can see the status. Yes, I have seen that, right? So yeah, this is the one, yeah, primary, while this is the secondary one. Okay, this is the output which I have declared. Next is creating a file system. So you are supposed to, you can see that this disk is created, right? So ls space dev drbd 0. Yes, disk is just created. It is a time to format it. So you have to format this in one of the node, not in 2 node. Just run this command in one of the node. So yes, disk is formatted. Next is adjusting pacemaker configuration. So see, in a cluster, what actually happened, let's say you have a 2 node cluster, node 1 and node 2, and you are running one of the resource A. So what is the default behavior of cluster? Let's say you have some issue in node 1, and due to that your resource is supposed to move in other node, and that happen, of course. So yeah, your node 1 get rebooted. So in that case, your resource will move to the other node. And yes, there is a downtime which is considerable because the node is down. So the resource is supposed to move to the other node. That is quite good. But what about when the node is up again? So the default behavior of resource is it will try to come back to the previous node, which means I mean, it is a two-time downtime. I mean, twice downtime means the first time, which is moving from node 1 to 2, that is considerable, because without it you can't get a service. But again, coming from node 2 to 1 does not make any sense, right? So you can see a resource might fail back to the original node when the node is back online. So what you can do, you can create a stickiness number, which I'm not going to discuss, but this is how you can control this default behavior, because it is a part of cluster. So enter, and then this one, yeah, and commit, right? So that thing is done. Next is creating a resource, so cluster resource basically, because you want to manage this whole thing through the cluster. So as per the default, as per this page, this is one of the IP address used for NFS server, and you can see this IP address was mentioned here somewhere at the top. Yeah, this is the one. So this one is for browser access, to access the cluster through browser, and this is IP address, the second IP address for NFS server. So if I let's come down, yeah, that was done. So yes, this IP need to be created as a virtual IP to access the cluster, and you will allow the client 192.168.2.x to access this NFS server. So this is something which we are supposed to do. We also need to create this particular folder in both the node, because your dev drbd 0 will mounted under in this directory, and then you can share this file system all through the NFS. So this directory need to be there in both the machine. So let's create this directory, mkdir-p. Oh, so yes, enter, and the same command on the other side. Yeah, that is okay. Now come to the drbd primitive and promotable clone resources. So it is a time to create a resource, and I can see there is a copy section. So let's copy, come to the node 1 and enter mso. So what we are supposed to do, you have to run first, it is not there basically, crm configure, and then you have to run this whole command, right? So enter, and I can see okay, configure is already there. Okay, so let's copy one by one. So I did this command, yes, I am inside the configure mode, correct. Now we are supposed to copy this thing and paste. So what it says that is, it says that this resource is already there. Why? Because when the command, I run this command earlier and it runs successfully, right? So the resource got created. So let's remove the resource drbd and underscore nfs. So drbd underscore, yeah, this is the one. So let's come to the place, yeah. So let's rerun the same. Let's close this up so that you can sync with me. CRM configure, enter. Yeah. Then you are supposed to run this one. Yes. Then this one. Then multi-resource. Yeah. And in the last commit. Yeah, that is done. So what actually you are doing, you are creating a one primitive resource. So there are 4 different type of resources: primitive, group, clone, and ms resource. Primitive means the independent resource, a resource which is not depend on other, which means you can access, one user can access this resource. So yeah, it will be available in one of the node only at a time. That is what the primitive means. So yes, this is a primitive resource. This is the name of resource agent, parameter, and their timeout intervals for monitoring master and slave, right? And it is a multi-state resource. This is the name of resource, and the resource agent, maximum master 1, master node maximum 1 at a one time. I mean, at a time there will be a one master only. The number of clone 2, and clone per node is 1. So this is what the information here, right? Let's come back to here. NFS server, NFS kernel server resource. So you are supposed to have an NFS server installed in your machine. So zipper space install space NFS hyphen kernel hyphen server. and we have to run this command in both the nodes, because ultimately our object is to set up a NFS on top of HA. So this basic thing need to be there, right? So if you don't have this application install, how you will configure, manage through cluster? So the application need to be. So yes, I did this job in both the machine and it is installed. Now we are supposed to run this command, this one. So CRM configure enter, and I'm supposed to run this one. Yes, server is okay, and then we are supposed to write this one. Yeah, done. Second is creating a clone, so that your service, I will tell you what does this means for. So clone is the second type of resource. So this is the name of clone, and this is the name of basically a resource agent. So the location of this NFS server as a resource agent is OCF : heartbeat : NFS server, and commit it. So once you do this job, you can see the NFS service will be available in both the node, right? That is what the purpose of this cloning. Next is file system resource. So it is a time to create a file system resource, right? So let's copy the whole thing, come to here, enter, and you are going to create a one group. Inside this group, this is one of the resource, which is FS work. And what is this resource for? This is basically a resource agent for file system, and this is the name of disk need to be mounted here, basically, which is going to be care by cluster. So cluster will take care of your disk, and need will mount under in this directory. Yeah, file system type is this, and this is a timeout interval. So you are going to create a cluster resource for your file system, which need to be mounted in a particular location, right? So that is what the use of this. Next is, yes, you are creating a group. Yeah, so copy and group. Yes, there is a constant policies. Constant policies are a policy which is used to change the default behavior of your resource. So there are basically order is one of the resource. Sorry, a constant. Location is a second constant. Co-location is a third constant. So order means you can decide which resource need to be up first and which resource need to be start second, like that. So A, B, C, D kind of. So you can fix the order, which one need to be up first. And this is a co-location. So co-location means you can decide whether these two resources will run together or not, right? So that is done through the co-location. So if I read this command, then you are going to create a one group. The name of group is G-NFS, and there is one resource inside. Then you are creating a one constant policy. So this is the name of policy only, and the rule is mandatory, means this rule need to be followed, right? And the name of rule is this one. This is one of the resources which you created somewhere on top, right? That need to be promoted first before starting the NFS service. That is what the rule is, and this is a mandatory rule, which means these need to be promoted first, and then the service to be started, not the vice versa. And co-location means you can see the NFS, basically this one, the group basically contain one resource. So this particular mount need to be, I mean, this file system need to be mounted first before this resource. This will become master, right? So once your particular DRBD service become master, your file system need to be mounted first. So that is what the rules of co-location, and they both resource must be yeah, again, this is not the order one, this is a co-location one, which means both these resource must run together in the same node. That is what the means of this co-location, right? And that is a mandatory rule, so it is supposed to be followed. I mean, there is no option, right? These two resources must be in the same same node at a time. That is what the means of co-location. Next is commit, so need to save the changes, yeah. And then what else? Next is creating a NFS export resource. So here you can see you are basically going to create a cluster resource for NFS export, right? So I'm supposed to change this IP address because my IP address is 172 something. So let's copy this first, right? Maybe I can open one terminal and modify the IP address as per my situation. So in my case, my IP address is 172.17.11.0. Now you can copy. Come back to here and run. Yeah. So it run. Yeah. Now I'm going to add this resource under in the same group. The group name is G hyphen this one. So I'm going to add this one. Let's copy. Come back here. Yeah. And change save this yeah, this one. It says that there is no FSID mentioned, so okay, no issue. I can do you still want to commit? No. I'm going to check this command. Let me come back to my new terminal, right? And then so I'm supposed to copy this again. This is one parameter which is not there in this documentation as per the error. So 172.17.11.0, and I need to write FSID equals 0. So that is a whole thing I'm supposed to. But one thing I need to check, because when let me run the edit command. Is there any resource by the name export fs work? EXPORTS. Yeah, this is the one. So you're supposed to remove this, because in my case I run this command, but that was not perfect as per the error. So I'm going to delete this up, because if you don't delete, there would be error that the resource is already available. So yeah, I remove it. Right. Come back to here, fix your correct network range, and add this particular parameter. Copy this, paste it. Yeah, it run. And now back to here, adding a resource under the group, so that yeah, it would be a part of same group. So the beauty of the group is that everything which is a part of group will be running in the same node. So yeah, that is done. Let's commit, and I hope there is no error. Yeah, there is no error. Next is, you can also confirm that because that resource is now managed by the cluster. So I'm expecting there would be output, and yes, the output is here. I did not configure this file manually. That file was like configured by the HA. And if you see the second in the second machine, it is blank. And this is supposed to be blank because it is an active passive cluster. So setting will be there or available in one of the node at a time. So if the machine is down, then those settings will automatically switch back to the node 2. So that is, now next is creating a virtual IP address, because how you will access this NFS server. So let's create a virtual IP. So CRM configure, and either you can use the same command. Let's use the same command, copy and everything, right? And I'm supposed to go to this file somewhere down. I need to choose my IP address because my network is not this one. So 172.17.11.120, let's say, for example, and save it and commit. Right. So let's see CRM status. So there must be one this resource, and the IP address is whatever I have given. So yes, I have this IP address, right? And yeah, it is up. And currently you can see this resource, and this is a primitive one. It is not a part of this group, remember. So these two services, the work service, the resource name, and this one working in two different the node 1, and while the IP address is running on the different node, which is not good. I mean, all these things should be running at one node at a time, because if the IP address is running in the another node and service is running in the another node, then it will not solve your purpose. All these related resources must be running in the same. So that is why they are going to add them into the group. So once I add this resource under in this group, so this particular IP address will come to the same node 1, and I can show you this CRM configure, enter, and just run this up. Oh, not this one. Copy and enter. So what it says that NFS, okay, enter, because I missed some character, you can see. Now you can commit it, right? So now I can show you this one interesting. So you see everything in the same, right? Now you have to access this thing, right? So you need a client machine. So because you have allowed 172.17.11.0, anybody who comes in this range can access my data. So at present I have one of my admin machine. I will use this admin machine as a client to access this. So let's come here and take the search connection against the admin machine. Yes, right. So what it says, you are supposed to check the IP address of the NFS server, in my case 120. So I'm supposed to write mount space -t and NFS, the IP address, which is this one, right, and colon. And before that you can run the show mount command, show mount -e, and the IP address, and there must be output. Yes, I can see this directory is shared for everyone who belong to this IP. So network, yeah. So mount -t NFS, and the IP address, this one, dot 120 colon, and then SRV NFS work, and where to mount, under in MNT. So it says that this particular, oh, okay, 172. It's not 72 only, 172. Yeah. So if I come down inside here, there is nothing. So let's come to the node 1, and inside you can see the mount point first. So the mount point is this one, right? The DRBD is mounted here. So let's create a file which is SRV NFS and work. The name of file is node1.txt, and this is a file made by node1 dot, yeah, enter. So I'm expecting this file need to be here, and yes, I can see, right? Let's see the difference. Mount space enter, enter. So you can see this disk is mounted here in the node 1, but if I run the same command here, of course this is not mounted, because at a time it is active passive, right? So it will be mounted at a one time in a one place. So what about if the node is down, this one, right? And currently you can see DRBD ADM status, resource name is this. So currently my node 1 is as a primary basically. So if I reboot or shut down this machine, you can see same command here. So the node 2 is as a secondary, right? Secondary. But if I shut down this machine, before one thing more, CRM status, you can see all the resources are running in the node 1 only. So NFS resource, everything is running on node 1. So let's shut down this machine. I'm expecting this should become, yeah, it is connecting. Try to connect. It takes some time. Yeah, you see it's become primary. That is the one thing. Second is you can run the mount command. You can see the DRBD is mounted here because the one machine is down. And what next? CRM space status. So you can see all these three resources are running on node 2 automatically. That is cool. And if I run SRV NFS work, I can see the file here. And on the client machine, there is there would be some small what we say timeout kind of thing initially, but yeah, it is there. So if I create a file like SRV NFS work and the node 2 and enter, this is new file made by node 2, control D. I'm expecting this file here, you see, node 2, right? So this is all about the active passive cluster, active passive NFS cluster along with DRBD on top of your HA. So yes, this is how you can follow this documentation, right? So thank you very much for watching. I will come up with some new topic in the next video. Thank you all.